shit I've ever seen in my life.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Ryan Vaden, the owner of Vaden's Firearms and Ammunition, located here at 4485 East 10th Street on the corner of 10th and Linwood, next to India Eyelashes and Young America Insurance. Hey guys, I want to talk to you briefly about the bill 1296 that passed legislated, goes into effect July the 1st here in Indiana. So I hear a lot of people that come inside of my store and a lot of inboxes that I get on a daily basis. I do apologize if I have not got a chance to answer all you guys' questions. I try to do my best, but you know, sometimes I may miss one or two. Hopefully this video will help to serve some purpose to a lot of people out here in the community and in the city and within the state on the bill 1296. But I want to make sure that everybody is pretty much on the same page and understands how this works with carrying permitless in Indiana. Now, I will let you know, me sitting here doing this video is basically an informative video. Feel free to sit here and reach out to your local police department, the Indiana State Police, you know, for any further questions. But really, in a nutshell, I want to make sure everybody does their homework. I don't want to see anybody get themselves in a situation or don't have the equipment when it comes to knowledge-wise on making the right and sound decisions. As always, you want to sit here and be able to protect your rights, but you have to use your rights lawfully. So we're gonna go into this and make sure you guys basically get verbatim what I'm gonna read off the the bill for 1296 for 2022 for Indiana. And if you have any questions, gotta do your research. All right, so the Indiana General Assembly passed House Act 1296 this season, which removes the requirement to get a permit to carry a firearm. So everyone knows Indiana has always been a state to carry a firearm, to sit here, you know, to have a permit to carry a firearm. It's one of those things that is a great thing to have. You know what I mean? Having a permit does give you the ability to go in states that accepts Indiana permits to have that. You know what I mean? You don't want to say go to a state that have your firearm that don't have a permit that is, you know, honored in that state, and you end up sitting here running into some trouble with law enforcement because, you know, you committed an act that was not legal. Also too, you know what I mean, when you travel, I know a lot of you guys, including myself, have family and friends in other states or whatever. You may want to have that added sense of protection. It's always good to check local and state laws, especially when you're dealing with magazine capacity. If you're traveling from Indiana to California or to Massachusetts or to wherever state that you may be traveling, that has magazine restrictions as well, just so you make sure you follow in those state and federal laws. But back to Indiana, the 1296. On July the 1st, any individual wanting to purchase a firearm from a federal license, which is a FFL dealer like myself, will still have to undergo a background check in order to complete the purchase. This has always been a requirement going in any federal store. Doesn't matter if it's my store, Vaden's Firearms, or your local, you know, gun store in your city or county. The FF dealer will check the FBI's National Instant Background Check System to verify the individual is flagged or a proper person under federal law to possess a firearm. With Act 1296 in place, a person who successfully purchased a handgun will not need to take any additional steps to get a license before carrying. However, this legislation still allows a private property owner to control who can carry a firearm on their property. There continue to be individuals who cannot legally carry a firearm or a handgun in public, even though there is not a permit required. So if you can't legally own a firearm, you need to sit here and rethink that process. Like, hey, July the 1st comes, can I legally own a firearm? This includes certain individuals with certain past criminal convictions, for example, but are not limited to or not permitted to carry a handgun and discovered by law enforcement may face legal charges. Except as a provided in subsection, the following persons may not knowingly or intentionally carrying a handgun. A person convicted of federal or state offense punishable by a term of imprisonment exceeding 1 year, a fugitive from justice, an alien, a person convicted of a crime of domestic violence, domestic battery, criminal stalking, a person restrained by an order of protection, a person under indictment, a person who has been adjudicated dangerous, adjudicated a mental defective, committed to a mental institution, a person dishonorably discharged from military service or the National Guard. I'm not gonna read all of this, guys, but I am just, like I said, I'm gonna touch base on, a lot of the highlights. With the passage of this legislation, Indiana joins 23 other states in affirming the right of law-abiding citizens who are otherwise legally able to possess and carry a firearm to responsibly carry the firearm for self-defense without first having to ask the government for permission. So, guys, this is super, super important. Please know your criminal history. Please know your background. Please know the information that you need for you to obtain a firearm legally. But please know the information that if you follow under whatever clauses that prohibits you from obtaining or being able to purchase a firearm legally, that you sit here, make sure that, hey, you legally can't own a firearm. So don't attempt to try to buy a firearm on July the 1st that you know legally you can't buy one. This will sit here and definitely put a lot of emphasis on private sales, because private sales do not have the luxury, I should say, in the case, to do a 4473 form, which is the NICS background check. NICS background checks are done inside of a federal firearms store. So you want to make sure that if you are selling a firearm to an individual that you know is not lawfully able to have a firearm, that you could be in some trouble. You know what I mean? I'm not going to tell you exactly, what you could be facing or what could happen to you, but it causes more, not necessarily more emphasis, but it just brings the attention to private sales. It makes it harder to sit here and be able to say, okay, this person wants to purchase my firearm and you sold it to, I don't know, Mike or whatever, then Mike was a felon. So, just make sure you do your due diligence and, do this correctly, guys. Also, too, permits. Permits are a great thing to have. Like I told you, Indiana permits are honored in a lot of different states. I know you guys have family, friends, loved ones that you like to visit. You want to make sure that you're able to say or take your firearm, but also make sure you check their laws too as well when it comes to firearms. A lot of states have magazine restrictions that you cannot have over different capacities inside of your firearm. So you always want to make sure you check that. Me, before I go out of town, I always sit here and check a magazine capacity restrictions. You want to make sure you follow your state and federal laws. It just one of those give a say, when you sit here, printing off your airline ticket or you about to gas your car up, check those laws, especially, in places that you sit here travel non-frequently to. So you may not know certain laws. So definitely do that due diligence to yourself, but just know July the 1st, just like any other day coming inside of Vaden's Firearms, we're here to help you guys any way we can. Just make sure that you understand the laws, but just know too as well that you have to be 18 to buy a long gun, 21 to buy a handgun. The law didn't change those age groups, so I don't want people to kind of misconstrue like, oh man, July the 1st comes, I'm only 18, I can buy a handgun now. No, that's not the case. You still have to be 21 to buy a handgun. Also too, be mindful to place of businesses that have the firearms, if no firearms on their storefront, you still have to follow their store rules if they don't permit those. A lot of places such as the library, banks, a lot of government facilities, you can't have a firearm, Definitely respect that's that signage on the front, and follow those rules, wherever you go. But, if you have any questions, by all means, do your own research. This video is to serve as bringing awareness to the state, the community, to individuals that don't know or want to know. But you got to do your research. Research. You guys know, like, I'm really big on that. So if you need anything, come out, check out Vaden's Firearms and Ammunition. Like I said, located on 4485 East 10th Street, Indianapolis, Indiana. And if you need to give us a call, 317-492-9713. Peace.